The ongoing beef between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Floyd Mayweather is not showing any signs of slowing down, and it's once again making major waves in the boxing world. This time, Tank Davis took things to a whole new level when he went off on Mayweather during a live TV interview, and let me tell you, it wasn't just a casual jab. Tank came with a flamethrower, delivering brutal insults and publicly exposing Floyd's manipulative ways. This wasn't some light shade or playful banter. Tank went all in, and he wasn't afraid to let the world know what he really thought. What's even crazier is that Tank hinted at something that could truly shake up the entire sport, a potential fight with Mayweather himself. Yes, you heard that right, Tank Davis versus Floyd Mayweather. Imagine that, the undefeated knockout artist versus the undefeated boxing legend, the mentor turned enemy, in what could be the most shocking fight in recent boxing history. Could it really happen? Would Floyd step back into the ring after years of retirement, or is he too scared to put his legacy on the line? And what did Tank say that's got Floyd scrambling to respond? Let's break it all down. Before we dive into the insane live TV meltdown, let's rewind a little. The rivalry between Floyd and Tank didn't just come out of nowhere. It's been years in the making, with Tank steadily rising as one of the most dangerous and exciting fighters in the sport. And when Tank first entered the boxing scene, he didn't just look like any other boxer. He had raw knockout power and an aggressive fighting style that had people comparing him to a young Mike Tyson. He was hungry for success and ready to make a name for himself, and the first person to recognize his potential was none other than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, ever the savvy businessman, saw the raw talent in Tank and took him under his wing. He signed Tank to Mayweather Promotions and hyped him up as the next big thing in boxing, saying that Tank was the future of the sport. Floyd even made the bold claim that Tank would be the one to take over boxing after Floyd retired. Tank was still early in his career, but the future looked bright, and Floyd seemed like the perfect mentor. Tank and Floyd's relationship began well, but things quickly took a turn as Tank started to realize that Floyd wasn't just mentoring him, he was trying to control his career. Floyd wanted Tank to follow his blueprint, the same way Floyd had crafted his own legendary career. But Tank wasn't having it. He didn't want to be another version of Floyd Mayweather. He wanted to carve his own path and do things his way. That's when the cracks in their relationship started to show. Floyd, never one to shy away from taking control, began overshadowing Tank's big moments. Every time Tank stepped into the ring for a major fight, Floyd seemed to make it about himself. Tank began to feel like Floyd wasn't trying to build him up, but rather keep him under his thumb. It wasn't long before Tank began to realize that Floyd was more focused on maintaining his own spotlight than on helping Tank reach his full potential. Things really started to get heated when Tank left Mayweather Promotions in 2022. This was a huge move, and it didn't sit well with Floyd. Tank, feeling suffocated by Floyd's controlling nature, decided it was time to go his own way. Floyd, of course, tried to act like everything was cool publicly. He told reporters that he would always love Tank and considered him family. But behind the scenes, it was clear that things were far from cordial. Tank began to feel the tension. Floyd, rather than supporting Tank in his career, started to move in shady ways. He would block certain fights from happening, refuse to promote Tank's biggest moments, and even throw low-key shade in interviews. In one particular instance, Floyd suggested that young boxers should invest in real estate instead of splurging on luxury items like designer clothes. It sounded like a simple piece of advice, but Tank saw it for what it really was, Floyd trying to send a subtle jab. Tank was no longer the young fighter under his mentorship, and Floyd didn't like it. This tension came to a head during the build-up to Tank's fight with Ryan Garcia. Floyd, who had been Tank's mentor for years, was nowhere to be found during this monumental fight. Instead of supporting his protege, Floyd was helping Ryan Garcia, promoting him and boosting his profile ahead of the fight. This was the final straw for Tank, and he took to Twitter to call out Floyd for being a fake mentor. He accused Floyd of trying to keep him down, saying that Floyd never really wanted to see him win. Tank didn't hold back. He was done with the games, and it was clear to everyone that their relationship was on the rocks. But the tension didn't end there. The gloves were off, and Tank was now fully exposing Floyd to the public. In one particularly revealing moment, Tank opened up in an interview and made it clear that he felt Floyd had only ever wanted to control him, never truly wanting to see him surpass him. Tank said that every time he won, Floyd made it about himself, and every time Tank had a big fight, Floyd acted like he was the reason for Tank's success. Tank went on to say that he no longer needed that energy in his life. He was moving on and doing things his way. When asked if he and Floyd could ever reconcile, Tank immediately shut that idea down. He was done with the drama and didn't see a path forward for them to ever be cool again. This moment was a bombshell, and it sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Floyd, not one to take insults lying down, quickly responded in typical Floyd fashion. He posted a throwback picture of himself with Tank on Instagram with the caption, "Some people forget who made them." This response was petty, but it was also telling. Floyd couldn't handle the fact that Tank had outgrown him, and fans quickly took to social media to call him out for being bitter and jealous. But what happened next was even more surprising. Tank dropped a major bombshell. During a press conference for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach, Tank announced that 2025 would be his final year in boxing. He revealed that after his second fight in 2025, he would retire for good. This was huge news. Tank, who had been one of the most exciting young talents in the sport, was calling it quits earlier than anyone expected. Tank explained that he wanted to focus on therapy and his personal life, especially with his two young daughters. He wanted to be a softer, more humble version of himself. But that announcement didn't just signal the end of Tank's career, it also opened up the possibility of one final fight that could shatter every record in boxing. And here's where things get interesting. Tank hinted at the possibility of facing Floyd Mayweather in that final fight. Could this really happen? Could Tank's last fight ever be against the man who once mentored him? Floyd has always said that he would only come back to the ring for the right fight. And what could be a bigger fight than a showdown with the very fighter he once built up? Tank wants this fight, and it could be the ultimate way for him to prove once and for all that he's more than just Floyd's protege. He wants to prove that he's his own legend. But the question remains, would Floyd actually step into the ring with Tank? Floyd, ever the businessman, is known for doing things for the right price, and if the money is right, there's no way he'll say no to a fight like this. We've already seen it happen with Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, a fight that seemed impossible but ended up being a huge spectacle. So what's to stop Floyd and Tank from stepping into the ring together for one final showdown? This fight could be the biggest event in boxing in years. It would break pay-per-view records, fill arenas, and settle one of the most intense rivalries in boxing history. Tank would have the chance to showcase everything he's learned from Floyd over the years, and use those skills against the man who taught him everything he knows. But Floyd, a defensive genius, would have the ultimate challenge in front of him. Could he withstand Tank's power and aggression? Or would Tank's combination of skills and raw energy be too much for even Floyd to handle? This fight could break every record and leave an indelible mark on the sport of boxing. It's a fight that fans have been dreaming about for years, and now it could finally be on the horizon. But will it happen? Only time will tell. The drama between Tank and Floyd has reached a fever pitch, and the entire boxing world is watching closely. So what do you think? Will Floyd and Tank finally settle their beef in the ring? Or is this just another fantasy fight that fans can only dream about? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and let's get this debate going. If you want to stay updated on all the latest boxing news, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.